stacking shelves somewhere, you've not switched your brain off. You're working with people and you are a person. You have your own complications in your life. I'm sure that each of you isn't kind of walking this easy life during a pandemic where nothing is touching you whatsoever. You might have a bad morning, your child might not want to go to school, you might have unwell parents, you might have be struggling with mental health difficulties yourself. There's a whole host of different things that could potentially be going on in your life at the moment. We have to really recognise this, and we have to look after ourselves first, and we have to look after each other as well. Burnout is something that is really real. Do you know, it's something that's happening all of the time, and at the moment we're all under immense pressure. I'd argue that actually in services we've been under immense pressure for as long as I can actually remember, but we're now even in unprecedented times, you know, so we've got even more pressure. Burnout can have huge impact on you as an individual, but also on your service users. I quite often hear people say, oh, but it's okay, I need to go to work, I need to do this. And I ask them whether they're looking after themselves, and they'll say, oh, I don't matter, this person's sleeping homeless tonight, or this person hasn't got any food, and they're thinking about everybody else. But really honestly, you are not delivering the best service to any of your clients if you're not in a good space yourself. Professional boundaries we touched on briefly a moment ago, we talked about those. The first time professional boundaries start to slip is when your resilience as a worker is low, okay? Because then you're not looking out for any of those kind of signs and symptoms of any of that kind of that over relationship or that grooming and manipulation that we talked about and things. So professional boundaries are one of the first things to go, but also the way that you respond to people in the moment. You know, if you're really feeling under stress and you're really struggling and you're not coping and your work environment is quite toxic, and somebody comes in and says to you, oh, can you just help me with, there's a chance that you're going to go, not now, I'll come back at 2 o'clock, or I'm busy at the moment, and actually they might have been working up to come in to talk to you for the last 3 weeks because they're wanting to disclose abuse, or they're wanting to engage with you positively, and you've been trying to kind of pull them out of that entrenchment for ages. So when I talk about burnout, really and truly, I want you to value yourselves and recognise that you deserve to be feeling well, and you deserve to be feeling able, and you deserve to be enjoying the work that you're doing. But if you're not in that headspace yet where you're valuing yourself, I'm also telling you, you won't be the best professional that you can be if you are burning out as well. So please look out for each other, talk to each other. We have a podcast series, which is, I think it's series 4, which is professionals like you guys telling their story of burnout. So they literally say what happened to them and when, and how they could prevent it from happening again, and how to recognise it. So please listen to those, share them with your team, don't feel alone about it. And look after yourself. You know, there's loads of different ways to do this. Please prioritise it. Talk to each other, debrief, have your supervision. You know, the story that you just shared there about the lady jumping off the bridge, you know, you're clearly, the way that you explain that you've talked to your team about it, you've talked it out. That's so important to be able to do that, because otherwise you internalise it, and again, that will lead to burnout. You know, reflect. Do whatever you need to do to relax. That might be running for some of you, or it might be eating cake for me, you know. Also recognise your limitations. You can't do everything all of the time. You know, like I said, if you've done everything you can within the constraints of your role, then you've done everything you possibly can. You cannot take the weight of the world on your shoulders, and all of you are superheroes, but none of you have extra powers, you know, so you've only got a certain amount of ability to give and a certain amount of capacity yourself. And go see a doctor, or use your EAP scheme, you know, get some assistance, some professional assistance, go talk to your managers, things like that. If you're starting to think that actually you're getting overwhelmed with things, you're not enjoying what you're doing, your resilience is low, or you're responding in a way that kind of just makes you wonder about where you're at, seek some help before it spirals, because it can spiral really quickly, and we're losing so many amazing people from good services, because they're trying to do everything and they're not looking after themselves. So thank you for all of your time and attention today on a really complex and in-depth subject, but we're going to finish on this because this is by far the most important thing. If you don't look after yourselves, you can't help anybody else.